When a woman hurts you, the first instinct is often to react, to chase, to explain, to fix what's been broken. But what most men never realize is that silence and self-control are far more powerful than begging for closure or trying to make her understand your pain. The truth is, when a woman hurts you, she expects you to react emotionally, she expects you to break down, to argue, to prove to her how much you care. But when you do the opposite, when you become calm, detached, and composed, that's when her mind starts to question itself. That's when she starts to miss you, even if she doesn't want to admit it. The first thing you must do when she hurts you is to withdraw your energy completely. You see, your energy is everything. Your attention is the most valuable currency in any relationship. When you pull that back, when you stop calling, stop texting, stop checking her social media, and stop trying to get a reaction, you instantly shift the power dynamic. She begins to feel the emptiness that your absence creates. At first, she might act like she doesn't care. She might even post pictures or stories pretending she's living her best life. But deep down, she knows something feels off. That attention she once took for granted is gone. And when a woman realizes she no longer has emotional control over you, her curiosity awakens. That's when the missing begins. The second thing you must do is to focus on becoming unrecognizable. Not out of revenge, but out of evolution. Every time a woman hurts you, she unconsciously tests your emotional strength. If you crumble, she loses respect. But if you rise, she rethinks her entire perception of you. When you take your pain and turn it into progress, when you start hitting the gym, dressing better, chasing your goals harder, building discipline, and improving your mindset, you send a silent message. You show her that her absence didn't break you, it built you. Women are emotionally wired to notice transformation. They may not tell you, but they always see it. The moment she sees a version of you that no longer needs her validation, she begins to wonder if she misjudged you. That curiosity turns into reflection. That reflection turns into longing. Third, you must control your narrative. When a woman hurts you, she often convinces herself that you'll never move on. She might even tell herself that you'll always be available if she ever decides to come back. You have to break that pattern. You do that by living your life so unapologetically that the world starts to notice you again. Start posting about your journey. Not to impress her, but to express that you're alive, grounded, and focused. Go out, meet new people, travel, take risks, and share your wins. Not out of spite, but out of freedom. Because when a woman sees that the world is embracing the man she thought she could replace, the illusion of control slips away from her. She starts questioning why she let go. She starts comparing every new man to the version of you she thought she knew, and every time she does, she loses a little piece of her peace. The fourth thing you must do is master emotional detachment. This is where most men fail. They confuse not caring with acting cold. Detachment doesn't mean bitterness. It means balance. It means you no longer allow her actions to dictate your emotions. It means you no longer chase clarity, closure, or validation. You create emotional distance not because you hate her, but because you respect yourself. You learn to respond with silence, not reaction. You learn to smile when she tries to provoke you because you now understand that her need to trigger you is a sign she still wants to feel your energy. The moment she realizes she no longer has access to your emotions, she starts to crave it again, because a man who is emotionally in control becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability is magnetic. The final thing you must do is forgive her, but not for her, for yourself. Holding on to pain only keeps you tied to her energy. The more you replay what she did, the more power you give to the past. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's release. When you forgive, you take back your peace. You stop trying to change the story and start writing a new one. A woman can sense when you're at peace. And peace is powerful because when she sees that she can't disturb your spirit anymore, it disarms her. She begins to remember the version of you that was kind, confident, and grounded. But now, even stronger, that contrast makes her miss you deeply because what she once took for granted is now out of reach. Understand this. Women don't miss men because of what they did for them. They miss men because of how those men made them feel. When she realizes that no other man can give her the emotional experience you once did, the calm, the depth, the certainty, she'll start to remember the moments she ignored. She'll remember the times you tried to communicate, the times you showed patience, the times you were gentle when she was distant. But by then, you'll have grown past the need for her validation. That's when the tables turn. Pain has a strange way of becoming your teacher if you let it. When a woman hurts you, don't waste that pain by drowning in self-pity. Use it as a mirror. Ask yourself, what did I tolerate that I shouldn't have? What boundaries did I fail to protect? What part of me was seeking love instead of becoming love? When you answer those questions honestly, you evolve. And evolution is what makes a man truly irreplaceable. Because a woman may forget your words, but she'll never forget the way your absence feels when she realizes you were her peace in disguise. Sometimes silence speaks louder than any revenge. Sometimes the best apology you'll ever get is seeing her face when she realizes you've moved on and no longer need her. Because when you elevate yourself, when you stop chasing closure and start chasing growth, you make her question everything she thought she knew about you. And that confusion, that emotional imbalance is what makes her miss you in ways she can't explain. So when she hurts you, don't argue, don't explain, and don't beg. Step back. Go silent. Evolve quietly. Work on your body, your mind, your goals, and your peace. Let her feel what life is like without your presence. Let her wonder if she made the biggest mistake of her life. Let her see the version of you that doesn't seek, doesn't chase, and doesn't need. That's the version she'll never forget. A woman only realizes the value of a man when she can no longer access the energy he once gave so freely. She'll try to test your silence. Maybe send a casual message like, "Hey, how have you been?" She's not asking because she cares. She's checking if the door is still open. Don't rush to open it. Let her wonder. Let her sit in the silence she created. Because if she truly misses you, she'll come back with clarity, not confusion. And if she doesn't, then understand that the universe just removed someone who was never ready for your depth. You must remember, being missed is not about manipulation. It's about transformation. The goal isn't to make her suffer. It's to make yourself stronger. Because when you heal, when you rebuild, when you rise, you automatically become the man she thought she could live without, but now realizes she can't replace. Every man reaches a point where he has to choose to stay broken or rise better. When she hurts you, that moment becomes your test. And how you respond decides who you become. If you let your emotions lead, you'll repeat the same pain with someone new. But if you let discipline and growth lead, you'll attract something deeper. Maybe even from her, or maybe from someone who truly deserves you. So when a woman hurts you, do these 5 things. Withdraw your energy, reinvent yourself, control your narrative, master emotional detachment, and forgive to free yourself. Because when you do, you won't just make her miss you. You'll make her realize she lost the kind of man she'll never meet again. And by that time, you'll be too focused on your evolution to ever look back. That is how you win. Not by revenge, not by words, but by silence, by strength, and by self-respect. Because the man who learns to turn heartbreak into power becomes the one she'll never stop thinking about long after you stopped thinking about her. When a woman hurts you, it's not just the pain that gets you, it's the confusion. The questions that eat you alive at night. You start wondering how someone who once smiled at you, laughed with you, looked into your eyes with warmth could suddenly turn cold. You replay every moment, every conversation, searching for answers that never come. But the truth is, most of the time, it's not about you. It's about her own confusion, her own emotional battles, her own inability to appreciate what was in front of her. And when you finally realize that you stop taking her actions as a reflection of your worth, that's when you start to reclaim your power. The biggest mistake men make after being hurt is trying to convince the woman of their value. They start chasing, over-explaining, over-texting, trying to get her to understand how much they cared. But here's the secret. The more you chase, the less she values you. Because when you chase, you tell her that she's the prize, not you. You tell her that your peace, your focus, your confidence all revolve around her attention. But when you pull back, when you let her go without resistance, she begins to question herself. She begins to wonder how you could be so calm after losing her. That thought alone becomes a seed in her mind, one that grows into regret. When you stop reacting, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability is attractive. Women are emotionally driven. They crave emotional stimulation. When you disappear instead of reacting, you create silence. And silence makes space for her imagination. She starts to imagine what you're doing, who you're with. If you've moved on, if you ever think about her, that's when she starts to miss you. Not because she suddenly loves you more, but because her ego can't handle losing emotional control. She starts to crave that validation she once got so easily. And every day that passes without hearing from you becomes a reminder that she no longer has it. You have to understand that your emotional energy is sacred. When you give it to a woman who doesn't value it, you drain yourself. But when you hold it back, when you choose to redirect that energy toward your growth, it becomes fuel. That's how men rise from heartbreak stronger than ever. You take what was meant to destroy you and you turn it into discipline. You hit the gym, you start reading, you focus on your goals. You rebuild your life piece by piece. And slowly, that pain that once felt unbearable becomes your power. You become sharper, more grounded, more focused, and the more you grow, the more she feels it energetically. Because make no mistake, she will feel it. Even if you're silent, even if you never post about it. The universe has a strange way of making people sense when they've lost something real. She might not say it, but one day she'll scroll through her phone, see your old messages, and wonder where that man went. She'll remember your voice, your calmness, the way you looked at her with genuine care. She'll realize how rare that energy was. And that's when she'll miss you, not just your presence, but the peace that came with you. But here's the key. You can't reach that point if you're still holding on to anger. Anger keeps you chained to her energy. You must rise above it. You must learn the art of indifference. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring more about yourself. A man who has mastered detachment is dangerous. Not because he's heartless, but because he's free. Free from emotional control. Free from needing validation. Free from being manipulated by love. And that kind of freedom makes women gravitate back because deep down they crave a man who doesn't crumble when tested. Sometimes she hurts you just to see if you'll still stay. Sometimes she pulls away just to measure your strength. And when she realizes you didn't beg, didn't fight for attention, didn't break down, her respect for you starts to grow silently. She might not admit it, but she'll think about you more often than she'll ever confess. Every time she meets another man who lacks your calm, your focus, your emotional maturity, she'll remember you. Every time she argues with someone who doesn't listen, she'll remember how you did. Every time she feels misunderstood, she'll remember how you always understood her, even in silence. And the irony is she'll start missing you not for the things you did, but for the man you became after she left. Men who turn pain into purpose become magnetic. You stop chasing what hurt you and start attracting what's meant for you. You learn that closure doesn't come from her apology. It comes from your growth. You stop waiting for her to come back and start walking so far ahead that even if she does, she won't recognize the man you've become. You rebuild your peace, and that peace becomes your most attractive quality. Because nothing makes a woman more curious than a man who no longer needs her. When she hurt you, she probably assumed you'd wait. She thought you'd still be available when she decided to reach out again. But when she sees that you've evolved beyond her reach, it shakes her. She'll test you. She'll send messages that sound casual like, "Hey, I was just thinking about you." Or, "I saw something that reminded me of you." That's not love. That's curiosity. She's trying to see if the door is still open. But if you've grown, you won't respond with neediness. You'll respond with calm indifference. Polite, short, detached. Because by then, you'll realize that the power is not in making her miss you. It's in no longer needing her to. There's a difference between revenge and redemption. Revenge seeks to hurt her back. Redemption seeks to rise above her. When you choose redemption, you heal without bitterness. You build without noise. You forgive without seeking recognition. That kind of growth can't be faked. And when she sees it, whether directly or through others, she'll feel it. That's the energy that lingers. The man who was kind, loving, patient, and now powerful, that's the man she'll regret losing. You have to remember that people often don't realize what they had until silence replaces your presence. Your absence becomes a mirror. It shows her the difference between your energy and everyone else's. And when she starts comparing, that's when the missing truly begins. Because deep down, she'll understand that she didn't just lose a man, she lost peace, protection, and purpose all at once. This is why your reaction matters. If you respond to pain with maturity, you win. If you respond with chaos, you confirm her decision to hurt you. So the next time a woman hurts you, take a deep breath. Let her go gracefully and turn inward. Focus on your mission, your fitness, your faith, your future. Let her fade into silence while you rise into strength, because when you transform your heartbreak into success, you become untouchable. There will come a day when she looks at you again, maybe online, maybe in person, and she won't recognize the man standing before her. Not because you've changed your clothes or your style, but because your energy has shifted. You'll carry yourself differently. Your eyes will no longer hold pain. They'll hold peace. Your voice will no longer seek validation. It will speak with certainty. That's when she'll feel the full weight of her decision. Not because you said anything, but because your silence said it all. And here's the paradox. The more you detach, the more she attaches. The more you heal, the more she feels the wound she created. The more you rise, the more she falls into the memory of what she lost. That's the unspoken law of emotional energy. When you stop chasing, the energy reverses. You become the one she thinks about before sleeping. You become the what-if in her mind. You become the standard that others can't meet. But don't make your growth about her. Don't evolve for her validation. Evolve because you deserve peace, because you deserve to be proud of the man in the mirror, because you deserve to wake up without pain in your chest. When you do it for yourself, the universe rewards you in ways that no woman's attention ever could. Eventually, she'll understand that what she thought was weakness was actually restraint, that your silence wasn't indifference, it was self-respect. That your distance wasn't punishment, it was protection. And by the time she realizes that, you'll be living a life so full that her memory will feel like a lesson, not a loss. So, keep your heart calm, keep your silence strong. Let her miss you in the emptiness she created. Because sometimes the best way to show your worth is not by proving it, but by becoming it. And when you do, you'll understand that her hurting you was never the end. It was the beginning of the version of you she can never forget and never get back. When you finally reach that level of calm, you'll start to see things differently. You'll stop seeing her as someone who broke you and start seeing her as someone who awakened you. Because the truth is, some heartbreaks are blessings in disguise. They break the version of you that was too soft, too forgiving, too available, and rebuild the version that is wise, grounded, and unshakable. When a woman hurts you and you choose not to break, you show the universe that you are ready for a higher level of strength. And that strength changes everything about you. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you love. You'll notice that your energy begins to shift. You'll stop needing to explain yourself. You'll stop needing to be understood. You'll stop trying to prove your worth because you'll finally understand that your value was never meant to be proven. It was meant to be felt. And the moment you live from that truth, you start to attract peace instead of chaos, alignment instead of confusion. And ironically, that's when she starts to feel the storm inside her. Because while you're healing, she's remembering. While you're rebuilding, she's regretting. While you're letting go, she's holding on to memories that no longer belong to her. One day, she'll think of you in silence. Maybe she'll scroll through her old messages, hear your voice in her head, or see something that reminds her of you. She'll wonder if you ever think of her, if you ever missed her the way she misses you now. And that's when she'll realize it wasn't you who lost someone special. It was her. You became the man she can't replace, the peace she can't find, the story she can't rewrite. And that is how you truly make her miss you. Not by games or revenge, but by rising so high that even her memory of you feels sacred.